we go again.
Here we go again. I don't even have words anymore. Your standard disclaimer here. I don't know about She-Hulk. I don't think I even knew her name was Jennifer before the other day. But I know what She-Hulk looks like and has looked like for what, 40-some years? And I generally enjoyed the look. God damn it, that was fun. Remember when comics had personality? I knew that she was a lawyer and I think Bruce's cousin, and that she broke the fourth wall years before Deadpool did. Ha! Check that out. You mean comic creators actually wanted you to buy the product they were putting out and actively encouraged it? Unlike modern mentally ill high school rejects taking out their pent-up aggression on the comic reading audiences nowadays. I should have made that censor bar bigger. And this is the She-Hulk currently blowing up the internet in 2021. Kind of surprising, I don't remember hearing people being quite as upset about this drawing a year or so ago.
Women are talking.
Or some of these others. Amazing. My expectations are thoroughly subverted, as is my male gaze. Congratulations. You win a Marvel No Prize.
You're a winner!
You're entitled to all the honors and benefits occurring thereto. Signed Stan Lee. Countersigned Pierre Andre. In ink. I should have made that censor bar bigger. Hey, let's give Marvel the benefit of the doubt. Maybe some stupid intern was running late carrying the important reference folders to give to the artist when they ran into the mail cart and flipped over it. Pages went flying, pictures got put back in the wrong folders. They were handed over to the artist and, well, here we are. No? Alright, screw it, I tried. Let's just get this over with, shall we? Flock. Duh. Okay, let's begin. Oh, I almost forgot. Anytime you start drawing superheroes, it's absolutely fundamental that you put on some awesome kick-ass music. You're drawing superpowered demigods. Feel that. Crank the heavy metal or whatever you need. I'm actually listening to some crazy retro synth horror type stuff while I draw this. I started by trying to do just a draw over of the image and shrinking down the proportions, but there's something funky about the torso still. It's still a little too ridiculously long, and she still looked more man than woman. The face looked okay, but it really didn't feel like She-Hulk. So I started over, in green this time. Then it occurred to me that if I'm gonna draw She-Hulk, maybe I should look up what she actually looks like. And I brought all my reference into the file. Look, I get that you have a style, and that's most likely the reason you got the job in the first place. And you're really at the mercy of the scriptwriter here. I feel like this is actually a pretty good drawing of Bruce Banner as the Hulk. Well done. But you're dealing with a character that's at least 40 years old. Why wouldn't you look to the past to get a feel for how the character should be portrayed? This is one image taken completely out of context. If you said to me she looks normal in the other pages and then got hit with some crazy bonus power and roided out into a monster, I might accept it. I personally would approach it a totally different way and still draw her as a woman, but I might have gone along with it. So I brought in some reference, basically all the images you see at the beginning of the episode. I was mostly referencing John Byrne's stuff because I knew he had one of the best runs, if not the best run with this character. Again, for the face this time, I used the How to Draw Comics the Marvel Way Sue Richards cheekbones. She-Hulk has always been portrayed as a happy, fun character. A vast majority of the time she looks like she's having a good time. So I made sure one of the first things I did was give her a smile. She's super powered, practically indestructible, I would imagine. You'd be in a great mood too if you had absolutely nothing to worry about, and also got a kick out of villains thinking they had any kind of shot at killing you. That's why Superman is so great. He has absolutely nothing to fear from anybody, so he'd always be in a relaxed mood. He's everyone's best friend. I really don't know what the context for this design is. My co-host suggested that they're giving all of the Avengers the power of the Phoenix now, and I quote, "Another awesome concept, overused to the point it means nothing." I don't like this costume, so don't get attached to it. I guess that's a Phoenix costume. I actually do really like this quasi-Slave Leia outfit, and I'll combine portions of it with the costume from the new one to create something different. I just tried to make it into something more like the previously mentioned Slave Leia type thing. So I think I get the initial idea of why they started to change her into a bestial looking character. You're like, she's a Hulk, why doesn't she change into a monster like Bruce? She just gets big, hot, and green. Oh yeah. And the answer is an extremely simple one. Because people don't want to stare at this.
Women are talking.
Also, we want to sell as many comic books as humanly possible, and sex sells, especially to young, maturing men. People like to look at beautiful things, drawings, people, paintings, movies. My wife watches movies sometimes just because they look pretty. I'm not going crazy with the hair. I could sit there and refine it for days, but I have a comic to get back to making. I said before, I don't really know a lot about this character, but I was always kind of amused by the idea that she just gets better looking in green. It's like, ah man, Bruce just can't catch a break. You know what's awesome, guys? Women. Actual women. Women who like being women. Women who don't come across as being angry that they're not men. I really like rational women. Any rationality in general. Regardless of sex, race, or creed, if you're an intelligent and reasonable person, count me in. I despise stupidity and willful ignorance. But self-righteous, self-serving ignorance and meanness are the defining fashion trends of this generation. I'm sick of it. Also, boobs! Love them. I think most people do. Even women like looking at boobs. Boobs are great. One of the best inventions ever. Thumbs up. 10 out of 10. Great job, everyone. We all keep asking the same questions and never get an answer, but honestly, when did feminism become all about turning women into men? Nothing says feminism like rippling pectorals and roid rage. Is it penis envy? It feels like that. Men and women are built undeniably different. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. It's like a superhero terrified of their own powers, rather than embracing your natural skills and talents and owning that shit. You know, I had this girlfriend once. She was kind of a She would always passive-aggressively joke about how men are dumber than women, how women can do everything better and are more gifted. Sometimes it feels like the bitch ex-girlfriends of the world were put in charge of running it now, and they're all bearing grudges. This is why pop culture sucks. I've discussed before how superheroes are basically the modern version of gods and myths. Ideals to strive for will never achieve their standards. We are but mortal men and women, but it's in the trying to better ourselves where the real purpose in life appears. In a lot of ways, superheroes represent some of the ideals of the ancient Greeks. You know, the philosophies of which most modern Western civilization is based upon. Ideals like athleticism, beauty, art, honor, intellect, and truth with a capital T. Modern Marvel hates all 6 of those things. Actually, modern everything in entertainment hates all 6 at this point, and a large chunk of the population too. There are a couple of things I really hate about modern life. No barrier of entry to pop culture. It's been corporatized to the point where any idiot who knows nothing of the subject matter can have an opinion and post a video about it. You used to have to do the legwork to get into this stuff, and it's how I met my best friend. We were both in the know and had done the required reading to get into the club. Pop culture used to be fun. It was a good distraction from modern life. Now with endless streaming and a constant barrage of content, there's nowhere to escape to. Especially with whack job ex-girlfriends weaseling into companies and screeching at all the men they hate by way of destroying 80-year-old properties and characters. They're miserable, and you should be too. No fun for anyone ever! That's the world we want! 2. The internet. Ironic, I know. We need to make dial-up great again. No good seems to have come from having endless access to it. Simultaneously, it seems to encourage bad behavior and mental illness. Should you be suffering from some kind of psychological issue, I absolutely believe it enhances that. I'd argue that it also encourages people that don't have a history of mental illness to begin behaving as if they do. The Greeks believed in living a balanced life, and I think modern decadencies have finally caught up to us. Too many people who have been given too much without knowing the true value of it, and now they feel entitled to the point of screeching at people that dare question them in any way. All of our heroes have fallen victim to the mental illness of the internet, just like She-Hulk. We should bring back paddlings, not in a sexy way. I'm not sure what they were thinking with the thumb on this fist. I had to look at my own hand to do this. When I make a fist, my thumb tip curls down, not up. Remember, kids, when in doubt, look at your own parts for reference. This is horse. Enough is enough. The bankruptcy of every single one of these corporations can't come fast enough. I'm absolutely fed up with the denigration of heterosexuality in the standard family model. I'm not one given over to conspiracy theories, unless I'm watching X-Files, but sometimes it really starts to feel like population control. Plus all the bull they're meant to make people question their core values and feel guilty for having any kind of pride in themselves or where they live. It feels really nefarious. I read a sci-fi book a while back called The Forever War. It was kind of like Vietnam in space. Humans are fighting a war far out in space, but because of time dilation, the difference in elapsed time as measured by 2 clocks, the soldiers are aging slower than life on Earth, so each time they go out and come back, years have passed, to the point where eventually the main character is leading soldiers into battle that don't even speak the same language as him anymore. back on Earth the population is so out of control that the governments start encouraging homosexual relationships to try and get it under control. Eventually, that just becomes the norm. Sean, what the f does any of that have to do with She-Hulk? Because I like boobs, damn it, and hot chicks, and dames. Stop trying to kink-shame me for being the predominant norm. If it weren't for breeders, you wouldn't have anyone to at. Not to wax poetic, but personally I always think of men and women as both having their own unique individual flaws, and we live in this cycle of constantly coming together, trying to create another, more perfect being. But each time we're forced to repeat the process and try again. I don't know, maybe I'm more of a limerick man. Adding some darks. This is the worst pose, but I tried to at least keep it in the ballpark of being like the starting image. This is probably the most comic book looking thing I've ever drawn. I'm actually really happy with this despite the pose. And there you have it. What do you think? Is it good? Is it bad? Is it human? Is it superhuman? Most importantly, is it woman? Let me know in the comments what you think. Even if you just want to call me a feel free to do that as well. Every interaction helps the channel, and just because we don't agree doesn't mean I have to shriek at you like an Invasion of the Body Snatchers alien. Anyway guys, that's it for this time. If you want to check out my own comic book sci-fi action adventure, hopefully crowdfunding soon, there's a link in the description below. It'll take you to Instagram and the real smacked in the head. Alright guys, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye.